Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Patty's Art Studio '09, and today we're doing how-tos, do's and don'ts, recycle, repurpose, and alter products that are in your house or in the store. Now today we're going to take regular household items, show you how to repurpose it, how to make projects without running to the store for last minute items, and to finish something that's on its way out to your customer or for your client without running out going looking for one last little trinket. So here on this table is all of our supplies. This is what I normally try to keep at hand, and these are some finished products with some of the things that I did make. So our first lesson is going to be how to make a little box. So I found this little box. It was for French fries. As you can see, it was actually a little French fry box. So I wanted to reuse it, but of course there's grease and food in there. So what I did was I covered it. I took a piece of cardboard from out the house. I used a box from, let's see, what was this? This looks like it was my cat food box. So I made a pattern. So I laid out my board. I unglued the sides. You look for the little perforations that are on the sides. I peeled it apart without destroying the package. And what you want to do is go around and look for the packaging for your product. If you have a circular product, then maybe you want to look for something, but try to keep it the same weight as the item that you're making. So I traced it out, and then I cut it out, and here's mine. These are the fold lines, which are for here and here. And if you assemble it, it's the same little box. So now all we have to do is decorate it. Try to assemble it the same way that it was when you originally found the product. So mine was facing backwards. So that's all I did. So now you just decorate it the way you want. It could be vintage, it can be steampunk, whatever, old country. That's that product. The next product that I did was someone needed a mummy for a project that you see in the other hieroglyphics project. So here's the mummy. Now, instead of running around looking for rags and sticks and everything, I rolled up a piece of regular copy paper like an ice cream cone. See? Just like an ice cream cone. I folded it up on the bottom. Those are the feet. Then I took another piece of paper. You can actually do it with one sheet of paper depending on how big you want your mummy. I took a ball of paper, took the other one, made a little small little cone. I'm going to put this inside here. Use a piece of double stick tape, tape it to the back. There's your neck, there's your head. You tape it all around so it can be kind of flat, because as you can see, a person is not the shape of a cone, so you can make it flat. Then I took regular paper towel. I wet him up a little bit after I taped them together. I took a bunch of paper towel and I put shreds, turned it into shreds, long strips, so it can look like this. Wrapped it around, and these were wet when I applied them. He was kind of damp. I took a little sponge and dampened him up, and I wrapped him. Then I took my coffee solution, like one huge tablespoon of coffee. I dabbed him all over and put him in the oven on a baking sheet to dry. So that's the mummy. Now this box here was a regular plain little white box, and I wanted to do a steampunk project with a little journal. So with this one, I said, I had some items, I had some keys, and I didn't have a lot of other items. So what I did was, I got an old country magazine, I cut out this clock from my die, and I fixed it up really good so it can look vintage like a die, instead of going to a store buying all these packages with all these dies. Here's a boot, same thing. I cut the boot out and then I used the little metal pieces that I found inside my supplies, my tools, and that's the journal. And there's the twine. So that journal goes in here. Now for here, I had a piece of plastic but it wouldn't stick on there. So what I did was, took a piece of cardboard, I distressed it, I punctured holes to make it look like it was nailed in. These are little, the little dollar wall hanging kits for the frames, and I glued those on with the glue gun, and I distressed the box. It was just a plain white box. As you can see from the inside, it was a plain white box. I got my decorative paper, I decorated the box, and here again, I did another clock, and I added some real elements from the toolbox, and I made the dies from out of cardboard, from a cereal box. Inside of the box, I took a picture I found around town, and I glued inside the box, so now it looks like a scenery, and the bottom has the same thing, a scenery. So here's a little journal, that's the little kit. Here's a little bookmark. The little bookmark has real metal for the paper reinforcers. I found some greeting cards to do the back. Again, I cut out the clocks. Here's my little notepad on the back. And that's the little bookmark, or tag, whatever you want to call it. That's that project. That was very easy. The next project was some little journals that I do for my missionary. So these are little blessing journals. I took some regular index cards, cardstock paper, and some sheets of paper, and I made the little booklet, just one hole punch, used the twine. Then what I did was I distressed it again with the coffee, and I gave it a little bit of glitz so it can look like a real Christmas journal, a little music book. But actually inside it's a blank journal, and you can go ahead and document your walk with Jesus, and this is a salvation scroll. So that's that project. This project, everybody likes to do the little mini toilet paper journals. So this is a little teeny little mini journal that I did, and this was my inspiration. So I took these little flowers, cut off the stems, I used the leaves, I used the paint, I used tempera paint, and I distressed the little toilet paper rolls, wrapped the leaves around it. Each page is something else, obviously, and that was the front. That's the back. So if you hold it up, this is the back of the journal, and this is the front of the journal. The front of the journal has the little butterflies. It has the toilet paper pillow box, which is filled with sachet. It smells really beautiful. You could put potpourri in here. So again, I wrapped around the leaves. This one is called Garden Elements. So this one was a lot of fun to do. Then on the second page, I use a lot of cardboard and findings. This was a little plastic piece from underneath the flower. It wouldn't lay flat with the flower, so I took it off and I used it by itself. So here's your little pocket. You can put your little note in there. On the back, I found another magazine, and I made the garden door. It opens up double doors, And you have your little journal on this side. I love journals. Most of my projects will incorporate journals. Over here, you have your photo mats. There's your photo mats. And you can close that up, close the door. I put 2 little diamonds from a little necklace that I had, Swarovski crystals. And I used the twine again. And here's a little key to the garden. Here's another little journal. You open this up, you turn it this way, and you have your little pages. That's another little journal on that side. And over here's a little tag holder. Little tag holder. And another little tag holder. You can actually take this and put it under here. The one that was here must have disappeared. Turn that. Here's another little pocket with little diamonds and little leaves. I found a little ribbon with leaves on it. Here's another little card holder. And these are just the leaves from here. I took the leaves, cut them very short, and I glued them on, and it's now a pocket. So you can take this out, and that's your pocket. That goes in there. Over here you have a mat board, and here's another little journaling area. There's the little lines. This is my paper, my handcrafted paper. I made a little circle, cut it out, and so it's very organic. Here's another little area with pockets. There's a pocket back here, and then you have a little notepad here. Here's another pocket, and more. This is another photo mat, and more space to include little notes. So that was all out of all recycled cardboard, the toilet paper rolls, and everything that I found in my paper stash. Here's a folder. I took a regular binder with the page protectors, and this is where I find all my paper resources. And you don't have to run out and buy dies for everything and cut out all these different dies. You can save things, you can go through magazines and do clippings from magazines. Over here I have some tags. I found this beautiful chandelier online, so I took that and printed that out. Now I can color this. For a larger journal such as this size book, I can use that chandelier. There's some antiquated music notes I also printed out, and some other items that I printed out. I also have some beautiful tags. Look at these ballerina tags. All you have to do is mount them on your cardboard and color them. Look at how pretty. Look at the girls. You can put your little dainty little pink colors, distress it around the edges after you mount it, and make sure you cut yourself one to use for a pattern. And that's all of the dies. This is a sachet pouch. I love the little paisley around the edges, so I used that for a Victorian project. Here's my double-sided tape. Always good to have when you're doing paper products. You need rulers, you need twine. These are things you just want to keep around the house, around your studio. Here is a pattern that I made, and then what I did was take an extra piece of paper. I mounted all the pieces that I used on that particular project, so when I go back to it, I know how many yards I used, I know the color, and I can actually write down the store of where I found it. This one, as you can see, I wrote down this is a bookmark. So I used that for bookmark pattern. Here's a bunch of patterns that I made. And this one, my French fry box will wind up going in there too. And I'll keep that and just keep retracing what I need. These are all different patterns, a shield, all different types of patterns that I use for different projects. You can't ever have enough paper clips. You need tons of paper clips, all types and weights. These clips are really good to hold your projects so you don't have to fuss with different hands and dropping one thing, putting it down. All different types of clips. I have these little metal cookie cutters. They're great for a lot of different projects. You can use them also for pattern shapes to be consistent with your project. Your stapler, craft paper, white, brown, whatever it is. It's always good to have these large rolls. Here's a regular sea sponge that no longer needed in the bathroom. So you can cut this, take little pieces off and do your little stenciling. Your little water bottle, you always need that. This was the frosting, cake frosting. I put little trinkets in there. And here's the little piece that I couldn't get to stick. I dyed it. I used the paint, the metallic paint, and that was supposed to be for this project, but the glue wouldn't stick. So I made one out of cardboard. It looks really real. Then I have my journals. These are finished journals. Always have your flowers, depending on what kind of art you do. But I do a lot of different types of art. I do everything from screen printing. I do the papers, the handcrafted papers. I do sewing. I do so many different things. So I really have a large assortment of products. Here's a little journal. I took 2 pieces of cardboard and then I made little pillow cases, velvet pillowcases, put them on, I stitched it, and then I put my black ribbon. This is a nice little thick journal that you can give as a present. Here's some of my tools. I have my little wire cutter, always good to have. Have my marking chalk, which is really good if you want to just leave a temporary mark on the item so you cannot destroy your project. Your awl, various scissors, red pencil, pencils with erasers. Then I have my drawing pencils here to do my illustrations. I do a lot of illustrations. I collect all different types of erasers. Here's something else interesting that you can use. From inside the cereal box, the wax paper. Open it up at the seams, and you can use this for a lot of different things. You can lay your wet projects on here. This can be used for so many different things. You can even do little window envelopes if you cut it out. You can repurpose that. I repurpose everything that I can possibly come across my hands. I basically repurpose everything. And that's because I like to save time. I don't like to continue to run out. Oh, my project, I don't have paint. I don't have, you're always missing something. So instead of sitting there having a project, now you have 5 undone projects sitting around because each one needs something. You look around your studio, your apartment, your house, your tool shed, your garage, your husband's cave. Wherever you look, just be creative and resourceful, and you will be able to finish your project a lot sooner than you expect of hopping in the car, going across town to a store to find one little item when more than likely you can repurpose something in your house. Well, I hope this was helpful to you, and enjoy your crafting and your art, and I'll talk to you soon.